Hello everyone, welcome back to Jikook Moments. Have you ever noticed how a story can be repeated so often that it eventually sounds like the truth, even though there was never any factual basis for it to begin with? Today, we're not here to talk about cheap gossip or forced theories. We're here to break down how a BTS album announcement, something that should have been simple and meaningful, turned into a storm of speculation that completely lost its common sense. This isn't about taking sides. This is about facts. And if you're tired of seeing great work reduced to baseless rumors, then this video is for you. Let's talk with a clear head and an honest heart. At this point, the situation no longer feels merely exaggerated, it feels like a joke that's gone too far. A joke repeated so many times that it's lost all meaning, yet is still pushed as if it were the only possible truth. What should have been a straightforward album announcement once again turned into a snowball of irrational speculation, growing uncontrollably, driven not by facts, but by assumptions and a desire to believe in something that was never really there. What we're talking about is Arri Rang, BTS's latest album. A major project that has been planned for a long time, developed with a clear vision, and handled by a large, professional and structured creative team. Yet despite the seriousness of this artistic process, there are still people who insist on reducing it all to dating theories, ones that have never even been confirmed. It's hard not to ask, at what point did common sense truly disappear, and when did logic surrender to sensationalism? The facts are simple. BTS revealed the album name. They showed the logo. Jungkook mentioned that he contributed ideas. That's it. Nothing more. He never said he designed the logo alone. He never claimed to hide personal messages. He never said the album concept was related to romantic references or his private life. What he shared was that he contributed ideas, sketches, and general concepts, something entirely normal and even expected from an artist directly involved in the creative process. Yet somehow, for some people, that alone was enough to trigger full conspiracy mode. Suddenly, 3 circles in a graphic design stopped being visual elements. They became evidence. Evidence of what? No one really knows. Because none of it stands on facts, only on assumptions stacked on top of other assumptions. Do the circles represent tattoos? Do those tattoos have a specific meaning? Is that meaning related to winter? The chain of theories continues endlessly, without a single real confirmation. Ironically, many Korean netizens themselves have started saying, this has gone too far. They point out one basic fact that keeps being ignored. Jungkook submitted ideas, sketches, and references. The final design was created, processed, and refined by HYBE's professional team. An album of this scale is not made impulsively, nor is it used as a medium to insert hidden personal messages. Imagining that a company as large as HYBE would allow BTS's official album logo to be used to send private signals about a relationship that has never even been confirmed is, quite frankly, absurd. It's not only illogical, it also diminishes the entire creative team. And here is the most important point that keeps being overlooked. The dating rumor has never been confirmed. There has been no official statement, no clear declaration, no concrete evidence. Yet there are people who act as if this relationship were a historical fact, dedicating themselves to searching for references in everything Jungkook does. That is not analysis. That is obsession. This phenomenon isn't new. The pattern is always the same accounts, the same narratives, and the same methods. The smallest details are blown out of proportion, combined with old rumors, and then presented as something sensational. When everything is treated as a clue, nothing truly has meaning anymore. There is a very real sense of exhaustion here, a collective fatigue. We are already in 2026, yet some people are still trapped in the same old loop, repeating rumors as if time has stood still. Meanwhile, BTS continues to work, to grow, and to explore artistically. What's most absurd is the loss of focus. ARIRANG is an album, a musical, cultural, and artistic project. Yet instead of discussing the music, the cultural message, or the meaning behind its title, some people insist on turning it into an imaginary romance novel. It needs to be said clearly, not everything has a hidden meaning. Not everything is a sign. Not everything is connected to an idol's private life. Sometimes, a design is just a design, because visually it works, it's balanced, and it fits the concept. Period. This situation proves nothing about Jungkook, Winter, or BTS. What it does show is how a rumor, despite never being confirmed, can continue to live on because some people refuse to let it go. And the further it's stretched, the more ridiculous it becomes. Unfortunately, whatever Jungkook does now seems to be automatically linked to one specific name, regardless of context. To be clear, there is no personal issue with anyone. What's regrettable is the situation, not the individual. It's deeply disheartening to see Jungkook's work, designs, songs, and career constantly reduced to dating rumors, as if they have no intrinsic value of their own. Especially when both agencies have stated they will take legal action against false rumors, something that indirectly shows those claims are unfounded. This is where misinformation becomes dangerous. A lie repeated often enough starts to sound like fact, while an artist's real work is buried under speculation that has never been verified. This contrast was especially clear in BTS's latest live broadcast. The atmosphere was warm, relaxed, and full of laughter, like a reunion of old friends. They joked about the camera and lighting, choosing to appear just as they are. "It's been a long time since we've gone live like this," they said, expressing a long-held sense of longing. The conversation then flowed to ARIRANG. They explained that ARIRANG is not just a Korean folk song, but a symbol of longing, separation, hope, and life's journey. Its meaning isn't singular. Everyone is free to interpret it. They shared stories about military service, about missing the stage and army, and about personal growth. ARIRANG contains 14 tracks selected from hundreds of works. It's an album that doesn't end the moment you listen to it, but one that grows over time. One of the most touching moments was their parents' reaction. "You've really grown up." The discussion continued to their first world tour in over 6 years, featuring a 360-degree stage, with no distance. This isn't just a comeback. It's BTS returning with greater maturity, deeper emotions, and richer stories. And that's where the greatest irony lies. At the very moment BTS is presenting such honest and meaningful work, there are still those who insist on interpreting everything through the lens of an unconfirmed dating rumor. In the end, this isn't about supporting or opposing anyone. It's about understanding that rumors are not facts, and that without official confirmation, everything else is just speculation. BTS has returned with ARIRANG, with music, stages, and stories that stand on their own. That's where our focus should be. Because rumors will always fade, but meaningful work will always endure. Thank you for watching Jikook Moments.